Yo, what's going on, my Vivi OGs, my Omi homies, my fellow master collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromie, the Gale, back at it again with another VV AMA update video. Come on. Okay, so just yesterday, Reese and Alex of the Ecomi team held a AMA on the Discord server. Took it back to the roots. It's been a while since we had one of those, but in that AMA, they talked about the new queue system for the drops, and they gave us way more details than expected about the cash out feature. So in this video, I'm going to play those clips for you in case you missed it, or in case you want to hear it again, while I update my Vivi showroom. So without further ado, let's just breeze into it.
There was a great article this week coming out of Vanity Fair that talked about NFTs and the new emerging business that is collectibles and non-fungible tokens. Really excited to see that in print. It was the information had been out there, but it was really nice to see it placed in the context of Rewind Collective, who you may be familiar with. We did some work with them in the early days of the platform, where we released a Givenchy collaboration and some trading card looking works of art, animated works of art through Rewind Collective, who focuses on LGBTQ plus and women oriented content. And we are excited to move forward with them with another round of releases. The queue system is coming. I know we say soon. I know everybody's tired of soon. I am retiring #soon. It is dead to me, as is the chili pepper.
As is.
Sound
a little salty.
So look, the queue system is in development. We've seen it. We're testing it internally. It's just a matter of front-end integration and testing. As you can imagine, with 2.1 million users, if we roll something out, it had better effing work. So please be patient. I know it seems like maybe like we don't care or whatever. I don't know why that seems that way, but we want to make sure with everything we do that it works. And obviously, there's still a fair amount of bugs in the app, admittedly, that we are constantly working on, but I can assure you that the queue is of utmost importance. It is in development, and we are looking forward to finally moving to that system so that it's not a battle of fastest fingers.
And one just on that one comment I see quite a lot, or demand more so, is people requesting that we stop doing drops until the new system is integrated. Not practical for a company whose core business is to sell collectibles, but we're also on some pretty limited schedules with a lot of our licensors. There's a lot of content to get through. They have their own plans for marketing and promotion for these products. So if anyone's wondering, I mean, we will continue to operate as we do until the new system is integrated.
Great, thank you. And sorry, I kind of took a serious tone on that. I just wanted to make sure that people understand that we do also take it seriously. So I'm not going to try to keep it light through that portion of today's update. So we hear you, but we are working on it.
Yep.
Reese.
Yes.
What's up with cash out? What the hell? When cash out? Can we cash out already?
Cash out. Oh, this is a bane of my existence. This week, I've actually put together our instructional article. Most people will know that I don't write things unless we're close to releasing. And from next week, we will let in another batch of testers. The internal testing has been going quite well. I think this article will go out next week so that you can all get a pretty good look at it. And just to reiterate there, it will continue to roll out in very small batches to begin. For anyone who was around 12 months ago when we took the market offline, we rolled out the same way. And the logic and the idea there is to obviously roll out to a small group of people that we know and communicate with so that we can properly test this system. And once we're comfortable with that stage, we roll out, say, to the next 100, then maybe to 500, then 1,000, and before long, everybody has access. So, on that note, I guess we'll talk about it. I don't know if we've spoken directly to these the actual KYC process before.
Oh, please do. A lot of people are interested, as am I.
For sure. Now the payout feature and the KYC and everything I'm about to mention all happens through the web wallet. If you're new to the fam, or if you just haven't seen it yet, the web wallet is it's not omi.vivi.me,
isn't it?
No. Oh, it is. No. Yes, it is. Sorry. I thought I was looking at the token tracker. So omi.vivi.me. There you will see a login screen, and you can log into that using the same credentials that you log into your Vivi app. Just a note there, it is your email and password, not your username and password. I know a few people get stuck there. You will be sent a 2FA email the same way as when you log into your Vivi app. And then essentially, once you've logged in, if you've never done this before, you can just see your wallets. You can see your Gem wallet, you can see your Omi wallet. And underneath your Omi wallet, you can see a payout button. Now, for most people, this will be grayed out as it's not available yet. But once you have access, and of course, we will announce, sort of when the next batches are coming in or those larger testing groups are coming in, that payout button will be available to you. Now, the first time you run through this process, you need to complete KYC, or know your customer. Now, anyone from crypto or that dabbles in crypto will know exactly what that is. Anyone who just uses Vivi, this may be a new process to you. Now, essentially, KYC, a part of a broader anti-money laundering laws and regulations around the world, and it just requires us, or more so our third-party provider, to collect some ID verification from you, basically to prove that you are a human, that the transactions you're making are not some form of money laundering, that kind of thing. So, to complete your KYC, you will need to enter some personal details, including your name, address, country, email address, those kind of things. You will also need to provide the number from one form of government ID. If you're in the US, you can use your national ID card, social security number. For everybody else, a passport or a driver's license will do the trick. Now, during this initial KYC process, you only need to enter the number from your ID. The MTL provider will contact you to request the actual verification, like the actual ID, and make sure that it matches up with the details you have provided. So just to reiterate, the MTL provider will collect those details. We do not store any of that personal information. We do not have access to it. Our interface is actually plugging directly into their system. So when you're providing that information, it is going directly to the third-party provider whose sole job it is to make these things happen. Once you have completed entering those details, you'll also need to enter your payout method. Now, in the initial stages of this, that means withdrawing to your bank account. And we are offering, or our MTL provider is offering, most of the major currencies. So off the top of my head, I think it's Australian dollars, Canadian, Euro, British pounds, Hong Kong dollars, Japanese yen, New Zealand dollars, and US dollars. Now, if your home currency isn't one of those currencies, it's still fine. You can still use the payout feature, as your bank will do a currency conversion on the inbound transaction. But what I would suggest to anyone is probably to contact your bank or your financial services provider, whoever you're using there. One, to make sure that you can accept incoming transactions or payouts in a different currency. And two, just to see what fees they will charge. On inbound wire transfers, I think you're typically looking at, maybe $25 to $35 USD. That will be standard for anyone withdrawing to a bank, I think. Currency conversions, I know in Australia, you're usually looking at around 3% of the transaction value, but that will change depending on your bank. So again, if you don't use one of those primary currencies, USD will probably be the right choice for you. I think most banks around the world would accept USD. But again, you'll need to check with your specific bank as to what they can and can't accept. And of course, if they don't accept, if they can't actually receive a wire transfer from our payout, I'm sure there's other banking options you can explore from that point. So just something to note there. You will be required to provide your banking details, account numbers, bank name, that kind of thing. And again, that's the end of our KYC process. Once you've submitted your personal details and banking details, our MTL provider will contact you. Now, that will be via the email you provided. They will give you a link to a secure uploading page, which is where you will upload your proof of ID and your proof of bank account. Right? I'm assuming it will be a bank statement or some proof there that you own the account you have mentioned. That's usually the way these things progress. So from the time that you submit your KYC, you should expect to hear from them within about 5 days, after which point all communications happen with them. So any issues with KYC, if they reject your application, if your data doesn't match up, you need to go through their support. And I will link their site and give you some info on the MTL provider in the article that we release. Of course, you can change your banking details once you've completed this initial process, but every time you change those details, you'll have to go through the same thing with the MTL provider. You'll need to provide the proof that you own the account you're changing to. So good news on the way on that front. Once you've submitted that, you will just see a pending screen. I think Alex shared a bodgy screenshot the other day of that.
We'll touch more on that, but yeah.
We'll touch more on that. We'll get to that. So stage 1, KYC, provide your bank details. Stage 2, the MTL provider will get in touch with you to give you that secure upload link so that you can share your ID verification and proof that you own the account. Once approved, you'll return to the web wallet, omi.vv.me, hit the payout button again, and you will be taken to the payout screen, basically. Let me give me half a second here. I'll just share a screenshot so people can see this in the chat. Voice chat discussion. Okay, if anyone's not in the voice chat discussion and wants to have a quick look at that, it's a pretty simple screen. You can see at the top that there is a request payout button and then edit payout method. So for the sake of this, you would be using the request payout. On the next screen, you'll enter the information that you want, how many gems you would like to withdraw. Now, this will give you the value in gems that you are withdrawing. There's no sort of indication as to the amount of local currency you will receive, and that's for a number of reasons. Obviously, a fluctuating exchange rate, but there will be fees and charges imposed by your bank potentially that come in, currency conversions if you need to account for those. So it's not feasible for us to predict what you will receive on that front. We can just say what the value of the transaction that you are cashing in. Once you enter those details, you'll see a final confirmation screen. It gives you our fees as well. So just to be very transparent here with fees and withdrawal times, and you will see this on the screen. Few numbers. There is a 50 gem minimum withdrawal amount. You'll know pretty quickly what your bank is going to charge. But if you're assuming a $35 withdrawal fee from, wire transfer fee from your bank, and you're only withdrawing 50 gems, the likelihood that most of that value gets eaten up on the way is it's pretty likely, So there's a 50 gem minimum withdrawal, but I would advise people to wait to withdraw a larger amount, so you're not losing a lot to fees. In the early stages of this rollout, you need a minimum gem balance of 1,000 gems before you can trigger a cash out or a payout. So something to note there, you will need a gem balance before you can make a payout. There is a 10% transaction fee applied by us. That goes to the MTL provider and obviously maintaining this system and running the company. And the maximum withdrawal amount, at least for now, is $50,000 in any 7-day period. So that probably won't apply to 90 to 95% of our collectors, but just something to be aware of there. If you have withdrawn that much or are trying to withdraw more, there is a limitation on how much you can withdraw in that 7-day period. Now, those withdrawals, once you process and confirm your gem withdrawal, it can take up to 5 days to be approved on our end. It should happen quicker than that, but it can take 5 days. And from that point, you're looking at around 7 to 14 days before that money arrives in your account. Now, just to give people some insight on that, that is not a delay on our end. That is a traditional financial system delay, essentially. We use wire transfers or the SWIFT system. And if anybody has ever sent money bank to bank overseas before, you'll know that it usually takes about 2 weeks' time. And that's what this transaction is, right? You are essentially withdrawing or paying out from our accounts through the interbank system to your own bank. So from when you approve your withdrawal, you're looking at 5 days or up to 5 days, and then potentially another 2 weeks before you actually see that money hit your account. Again, that is not a delay on our end. That is a banking system delay. It is also why most of us move to crypto. So just be aware of that. Yeah, sorry, go Alex, you got something there?
No, I was just, that comment was funny.
But yeah. I mean, that's the why, right? Now, a couple of AMAs ago, we did mention that there would be some restricted countries from KYC. We probably should have mentioned a bit more detail on it then, but that is nothing out of the ordinary. If anyone has ever used a crypto exchange, the ordinary sort of restricted countries would be any that there are US sanctions against. Syria, those kind of, I hate to say this, but more restricted or regulated countries, really, more fringe countries there. So we're not talking the US, we're not talking Europe, we're not talking, where the vast majority of our user base is from. Everybody will be able to cash out from those countries. I don't think that would be unexpected to anyone else. But in this article, I will add a list of supported countries and currencies just so that people can be aware of that. But if you've dealt with any sort of crypto exchanges before or anything similar, it's pretty run-of-the-mill there. Outside of that, guys, as I mentioned, any issues with KYC during this process, you'll need to direct at our MTL provider and their support. Our support does not have access to your information or verification details. But again, I will include that in the article as well. And I'm waiting for an answer on this, but at least to my knowledge, I think you can only have one payout processing at a time. I'll get final confirmation before this article goes out, but just be aware of that too. I think that pretty well wraps up the information we'll put out at the moment. Keep an eye out for that article. We'll obviously tweet the living daylight out of it, and it's when it is available.
All right. So thank you very much, Reese, for that rundown. And thank you to all of you for your patience through this process. Now, why has this taken so long? Several reasons. And I want to be very clear when I say that this is not a matter of us pushing it off by any means. Due to several, regulatory changes, anti-money laundering laws, etc. Not to shift blame, but the goalposts have been essentially moved on us a few times. It required us to kind of change course a bit. And so now that we have the provider, the bare bones of the front end, and it's a few rounds of beta testing in progress now, we are looking forward to continuing to roll this out for testing, just to make sure that it is ready for prime time. Obviously, we want to be very, very conscious, since we're handling people's money, to get it right. So that said, I did share a screenshot in which there are a few screenshots that I shared for the KYC approval process in the voice chat discussion. Obviously, I shared that maybe prematurely because I don't want to give people the impression that that's what it's going to look like, because it is pretty janky. That is purely the beta front end for those that are testing. Is mainly proof of concept. It'll look much better. It is not the final design. It is not some weird shady site that we're directing you to. I just wanted to be very clear with people that who were asking for details or calling to action, our larger kind of influencer community, to find out who these people were who were beta testing, because I think Vivi's lying. It's just not the case. I think we have very few people at this point participating in very specific tasks so that we can make sure each of the different functions work, right? It is not a matter of special access for whales or any of that. Anybody who had like a large gem balance who was brought in to test, and maybe in the 2 or 3 people were given very specific tasks on, hey, try this amount and let's see if it works, so that we can get further approval on that actual license from the various world banks and regulatory agencies. So again, communication probably could have been better, but at the same time, we have definitely not been, holding anything back, lying, as we think some people have accused us of. It's just really a matter of making sure the regulatory requirements have been met, and that we are testing thoroughly this platform.
Yep.
It'll look much better than the screenshot that I shared. So please respect, it is a private beta, and so please respect, the fact that it is private. We're not trying to. I don't know what any other company would share a list of beta testers with their larger user base, because that's the point of a private beta. But know that we are continuing to move people into the testing circuit, if you will. And we'll look forward to publishing this article and finally crossing the finish line on this damn thing.
Oh, yeah.
After a year or so,
just
unexpected delays.
It hasn't been a year, just to be clear on that. Everyone likes to say, "Oh, we've been waiting on this for a year." It's I think we started scoping this out May last year, right? So it definitely hasn't been a year yet. Prior to that, we had the ability to send, to move Omi out of the app. So that was kind of the initial cash out. But as you mentioned, Alex, a lot of rules around that changed, and that had to be changed. And again, just to reiterate, this is people's money, right? This is people's money. This is like less than, you think we've seen complaints so far. I mean, if we stuff this up, then obviously things would be much more serious. So we're always going to take our time with this. And just on these developments, while we talk about them in AMAs and people know that these things are coming, because we want you to understand that these things are coming, we never release these specific details until they're ready. It's not practical. Things do change. A lot of things change last minute. So you can take some confidence in knowing that when we are putting these articles out, or when we are speaking candidly like this, it's because we're pretty well there. Prior to that, demanding details, we will always make the right judgment call, or our best judgment call, as to when this information and details can be released. So if you're not hearing it from us, it's not a thing. That's probably what I want to reiterate there.
And just to quickly touch on circulating narrative, in that another company has offered their cash out for US. Understand that we are a much different entity, in that we are a worldwide release of this product, given that our audience is worldwide. Most of our user base happens to be in the US, but a good amount are across Europe and other parts of the world. So just releasing in the US to start would not be a great move for us. And also we also operate a token as part of our underpinning economy, right? And so there's additional complexities, regulatory complexities, that we need to clear when it comes to rolling out something of this magnitude. And so while we applaud our competitors for rolling that out on a timely manner, we have obviously some good learnings to take from that. We are hoping to get this out ASAP for everybody, so that we can go on, building this community, building this market, and really start to see the actual long-term potential of these collectibles.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, we're doing this on a live app, not one that hasn't launched yet. So,
exactly.
I think people should. Yeah, but we can leave that there. That's fine.
And that's the video, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you learned something or enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing for more Vivi content like this. So, it appears that cash out may be nearer than we thought, at least for some people. But yeah, we just got to give them time, give them patience. We are early, my friends. This is what comes with being early. We got to wait for some things, you know? If you want to come back in a year or two when Vivi is fully operational, feel free, you know? But the opportunity that we have now will be lost. So it's pick your poison, you know? But with that, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing you heard in this video is financial advice because it's not. I'm just your friendly neighborhood genius, sharing his thoughts and opinions on this awesome app known as Vivi. So take everything that you hear from me and in this video with a grain of salt, because things could change. And with that being said, if you would like to follow me on the Vivi app, if you take a look to the bottom left hand corner, you will notice my Ben Simmons Spider-Man, which I have listed for 1 million gems. If you find him, you can follow me and I will follow back. Also, I have now memberships on my channel. If you would like to support me even further and get special features from yours truly, you can check out those options under the join button under my name. And with that being said, thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, peace out and hodl strong, my friends. Later.